If you run a private practice and growth still feels like a gut feeling and not a number, this is going to be for you. Because in this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 simple KPIs that you can track every week so you know that if your clinic is actually growing or just getting busier. These are the same numbers that I look at with real private practice owners every week. So if you're a US private practice owner or a clinic director with 1 to 10 locations and your scorecard is checking the bank account or asking your biller, so how are we doing? This is for you. Some weeks feel slammed, some weeks feel slow, but you're never really sure what's actually working and maybe what's slipping. And so by the end of this video, you'll have a 1-page, 7-number weekly scorecard that you can review in about 10 minutes. You'll be able to spot all the problems early before they become fires, and more importantly, make decisions based on the data and not all the vibes. First question. Are enough people actually coming in the door? Most owners look at monthly revenue. The problem with that is they don't actually see the demand slowing down until it hits their wallet. And so we fix that with 3 KPIs for volume and demand. Number 1, new patients or new evals per week. That tells you if the front of the funnel is healthy. Basically, are you getting enough new people started in your practice? Number 2, total completed visits per week. Not scheduled, but completed. This is the real throughput of your clinic, the actual billable hours that you've had. And number 3 is the no-shows and the late cancel rate. As a percentage, this tells you how much of your booked volume is just evaporating and you're missing revenue. So here's a simple example. If new evals are flat, visits are down, and no-shows are up, you probably don't have a marketing problem. You have a process and follow-up problem. And so maybe the reminders aren't being sent. Maybe the front desk is overwhelmed. Maybe they're not confirming appointments. Maybe cancellations aren't being backfilled with new evals or other people that can be on that schedule. And so you don't need a new ad campaign if that's the case. You need to fix your operational leaks. You don't need perfect targets right now. You just need to track those 3 week over week and look at the 4-week rolling average. And the objective of that is pretty simple. New patients and total visits, we want that to be either trending up or stable. And no-show rates, we want that to be trending down. If that's not happening, you know where to dig. Next, you can be busy and still feel really broke. Visits without healthy revenue per visit and collections is just structuring and defining, it's trying to create a snowball of stress for you. So you need really 2 basics. Take money KPIs every week. So number 4, gross revenue or gross charges for the week. So you want to see total dollars generated before all the excuses start to pile up. This tells you the top line revenue or the output of the system. Number 5 is revenue per visit. So the average collected dollars per visit, or at least charges per visit, if that's maybe easier to pull. This will tell you is how efficient each visit turns into dollars. And so if you want to add a 3rd money metric later, you can track a basic collections percentage. So for example, you want to look at maybe cash collected this week divided by the charges from 4 to 6 weeks ago. But to start, don't overcomplicate it. And so here's what these will reveal for you. If visits are up, but revenue per visit is dropping, that means something changed for you. Maybe your payer mix shifted towards low-paying insurances. Maybe documentation is weak, and maybe claims are getting decoded. Maybe you're not collecting over the counter, or you're discounting and comping too much at the front desk. The point is that the drop is a signal, and it's not a random surprise. Visits tell you the activity, but revenue per visit will actually tell you the quality of billing for each of those visits. And again, you're just watching trends here. Is weekly revenue growing along with the visits? Is revenue per visit holding steady or maybe even improving? If not, you know where to start asking questions with your team. So the last piece is going to be your capacity and retention. A lot of owners feel totally maxed out, but they still actually have a lot of hidden capacity in their schedules. Or maybe they're losing patients halfway through their plan of care. So there's 2 KPIs here. Number 6 is going to be your schedule utilization percentage. That's going to be visits completed divided by total visits or slots available. What that is going to do is going to show you if you're actually using the space on the schedule for your providers that you're paying for. Number 7 is plan of care completion or visit adherence. In plain English, it's going to be the average percentage of prescribed visits that patients actually attend. So essentially, do they stick around long enough to get results and generate a profit for your business, or do they vanish after 3 visits? So here's an example for you. If schedule utilization is sitting at, let's say, around 65%, you probably don't need another clinician. You need better booking reminders and follow-ups. You need to learn how to keep patients on the schedule. If your plan of care completion is low, you don't need more new patients. You need better education, better expectation. You need a better sales process. You need better check-ins so patients actually finish with you whenever they start. And so these 2 KPIs are exactly where operations and admin support make a huge difference. And so if your team is drowning in phones, inboxes, and insurance headaches, they're probably not going to have the bandwidth to keep the schedule full and keep your patients on track. And that's why owners who are able to clean up their front desk admin flows often see these metrics move before they change anything about their marketing. So quick warning, if you try to turn this into this big complicated 12-tab spreadsheet, you're never going to look at it. Here's a little bit of a bonus framework for you. It's going to be just simply a 1-page weekly scorecard. And so what you want to do is be able to just create a simple table. So your columns are going to be your week ending dates, and your rows are going to just be maybe your 7 KPIs. You're going to look at new patients, completed visits, no-show percentage, weekly revenue collected, revenue per visit, schedule utilization percentage, and plan of care completion. And so what you want to do with that is once a week at the same time, you spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes reviewing it. Ideally with your practice manager or some lead on your team. And if you want to even double the efficiency, you can maybe color code it. Good is green, red is bad. I like just the red-green framework. And so the power here isn't about having, perfect KPIs. The power is learning to look at the same simple numbers every week and taking small, consistent action based on what the data is telling you. And so quick recap, volume and demand. You're going to look at new patients per week, total completed visits, and no-show or late cancellation percentage. Money, you're going to look at weekly revenue and revenue per visit. Capacity and retention, look at schedule utilization percentage and plan of care completion or adherence. You could put those 7 numbers on a 1-page scorecard, review them weekly, and over time, you'll see that your growth will become more measured and not just guessed. And so if you're looking at these numbers and realizing that maybe my admin and front desk systems are the problem, that's exactly the type of thing that we fix at Inbox Zero VA. We place trained healthcare VAs and build workflows for you so that your phones, reminders, billing follow-ups, and your scheduling actually support these KPIs instead of dragging them down. So what I want you to do is click the link below, book a call, and what we'll do is walk you through some of your current numbers and where a VA might be able to actually help you free up capacity and plug some of those profit leaks. Even if we never get to work together, what you'll leave with is a clear picture of how to use KPIs to actually grow on purpose and design that and not by accident. All right, so I want you to go to work, go build your 1-page scorecard and start tracking these numbers every single week. We'll see you on the next one.